Hi guys, how are you? Okay, so we're still in lockdown. This is the world, the new world that we're living in. And I just wanted to take a moment to do two things. One is to check in with everyone because I do know that many of us are trying to adjust the light because I have the light in the back. I know many people is struggling right now. I know many people are feeling very disconnected to the world, to others, and to themselves because this is kind of what happened. And I know some of us are getting really triggered, like I was talking to a client now and we were talking about how in these situations where everything feels that is so in the air, where everything is like out of our hands, we tend to move to controlling things that we can control or that we feel that we can control. And that could be for some of us who are chronic dieters, our diet, or for some people that have used different things to self-harm, it might be that. And if that's the case, I wanna invite you to reach out to anyone and to kind of like remember the journey that got you into betterment and into wholeness, even if it was just for a little bit, because these are triggering times, but we need to find ways to be resilient through it, which is really hard. But it is kind of like the call that we are being called to do, to follow, especially since we don't know how long will this be. And for those of us that are expats like me, it's really triggering because we don't know when we're gonna see our families again. We cannot even travel to see them, which makes us feel powerless. And so it makes sense that you wanna try to control things another way. A couple of days ago, I was thinking, I wasn't feeling great. I wasn't feeling at my 100%. And then I thought, oh, maybe it's like my diet. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I should just do a really long fast, which is one of the things that I always used to do when I needed to find something to control because emotionally or mentally or physically I felt that I was powerless. Now I have done a fast that have been with a very, very clear purpose and that have been amazing, but I also have neglected my nutrition as a way to control something physical. So we grab onto something physical when there's so much that is out of our hands. So it's just a call. I just want to call you guys not to fall for it, not to really go into that, because it is a very slippery slope and we still don't know how far this process will be. So yeah, I'm with you. As you guys know, I have been also struggling because I'm an ambivert. I'm not an extrovert, I'm not an introvert, but I'm an ambivert, and I am very sociable, and especially physical touch is something that I miss a lot because I am a cuddler. You know that I love hugs and cuddles and all that. So even meeting my clients, and like my clients are all now on Zoom, which is really rare. But meeting people and not being able to just cuddle them, it's really hard. And I know we're doing it for our betterment. So yeah, it is what it is. Now, one thing that I wanted to talk today about, it's a concept that I have used for many years. In fact, in a really real way, it's a concept that helped me overcome my dad's murder. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look for a Sharpie. And it's one that is used a lot for people that are dealing with traumatic situations, and especially for the families of victims of the families of addicts. And it's a concept called, and I talked a little bit about it a few weeks ago on another post that I'm gonna put you guys. Well, basically it's on my timeline. It's like 3 or 4 posts ago. But it's a concept that what it does, it allows us to create some space between the situation and how it affects us. Because the reality is, in time, most of the time it's not about what's happening. It's about how we are reacting and engaging and experiencing whatever is happening, So you might be going through something really horrendous, but if in your experience of it you have a lot of space, you can face it better. For some reason, my brain did that very naturally when I lost my dad. So I could kind of like walk myself through it, even without knowing this concept. This concept is something that I actually learned around a year and a half ago. So it was much later. And it is truly great in this moment because it helps us create a separation between what we are experiencing together as a collective and our individual experience of it. So it's called the 3P concept. 3 Ps. So it's 3 Ps. And basically it's personal, pervasive, and permanent. So when we talk about personal, it's when you look at a situation like this, a situation that feels so aim at us, at each other, at each of us. When you say that is not personal, what you're saying is that this situation is not aimed at hurting me. These decisions and all the measurements that the governments are taking to keep us safe are not against me, but for me. So it is not personal. This is one of those moments where our individualistic impulses need to be shut down in a way of saying, this is not about you, sweetheart. You are not the center of the universe. This is a massive issue, which is why it's really important that when we're talking to our children about it, we explain to them the whole flattening the curve, a little bit of like obviously to their understanding, but a little bit about the collective and the importance of the collective, because this is not personal. This hasn't been about targeting either of us. Unlike a terrorist attack, unlike a murder, unlike something like that, this specifically, it is not personal. The second concept is pervasive. And when we talk about pervasive, we're basically saying that just because one big area of our life is affected, not everything in our life it's a mess, you know? So when you think about a breakup, if you put yourself back to being 16, when you're the first time that you were in love and you ended up with a broken heart, in that moment you felt like everything in your life sucked and that it will forever suck and then you're just gonna be and that's what many people are experiencing right now. They're like, this lockdown is the worst that has ever happened to me and everything else sucks and my life is blah, and it just like it's like lava that just goes or glitter that just goes everywhere. And when you do that, what you're doing is that you're saying, because this area of my life is not great, everything in my life sucks. And that's actually not true. Yes, for many of us, our income has been affected, myself included. Our time has been affected. Our lifestyle has been drastically changed. Having said that, there are other areas of our life where we still have power, where we still have joy, where we still have connection, where we still have hope. And we need to remind ourselves that every time that we're beginning to lose our mind. And finally, the third one is permanent. And what does that mean? Yes, we don't know when it's going to end. However, it will end. So when you say that this is not permanent, you remind yourself, you remind your brain to slow down, because this is not life forever. This is a new normal that we need to adapt to, because it's going to be around for a while, but this is not forever. Nothing is forever. So when you use these three concepts, personal, pervasive, and permanent, and you allow yourself to remind yourself that there's a bigger picture, you can create some air and some space in your human experience and actually get some awe and some compassion and some joy back into your life. Easier said than done, of course, which is why it is important that each of us do our own work with ourselves. Journaling is a great tool. Meditation is a great tool. Reaching out to people, finding ways to connect with others in whatever possible way. Knowing that technology right now could be your best help, and we're very, very fortunate to have it. And at the same time, the biggest relationship that we should be nourishing right now and always is our relationship with ourselves. So this is a really good opportunity to go inwards and try to find some joy and light in there as much as you can. I hope this helped you. I hope this helped you face all of these challenges with some joy. And if you need any support, remember, I am here. Next week, I'm going to be doing a free webinar about self-care and using self-care to navigate stressful situations, particularly the quarantine. I will be posting the link to sign up soon. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, have a beautiful day. And remember, I'm always here. I'm always one message away. Bye.